Welcome to Creating Stuff. This is the first episode of the MGB Fuel Injection video. So on this video, I'm going to focus mainly on adapting the fuel injection throttle body to this engine. So and all the process and everything that goes with that. So tell you what, I can sit here yakking, but tell you what, let me take you over to the workbench and I'm going to show you what I got in mind. Let's go. Well, to start off from the last video, this is the Holley Sniper throttle body that I plan on using for this. And in order to mate this to that engine, which this was never meant to go on it, have to be a little creative. And we're starting off with this manifold, which is, once again, this is not a factory manifold. This is so you could adapt a 2-barrel Weber downdraft carburetor. So that's one of the retrofits that were available. Picked this up for like $100 and change or something like that. But once again, this gives us something good to work on in order to go from here. So, and actually, I'll show you a picture of that Weber downdraft just so you can see it. I'll put a picture on the screen now. So we got this, and the biggest thing is this bolt pattern does not match that bolt pattern. So we have to make an adapter. And so what we're going to end up doing is this is the gasket for the Weber. This is the gasket for the Sniper. So basically what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to make a 1/4 inch plate a 1/4 inch thick that is going to have, and what the plan is right now, and all plans are subject to change because I'm mocking everything up and to make sure this clears the hood, the air filter clears the hood, and everything's going to work. And by doing and then once I have that, then I'll cut the real adapter plate out. But how this adapter plate is going to secure is, since the Sniper's throttle body is significantly larger than this, we can use that to our advantage. And basically, although this is meant to have studs sticking up to hold the carburetor on, I'm actually going to drill these holes out. I'm going to open them up, drill them out, and so basically, I'm going to have a steel plate, and I'm going to have threaded holes where I can have studs facing downward that we're going to send through this. We'll stick out the bottom, and then I'll have nuts on the bottom. Now, granted, when I do this, I'm going to probably have to carve out this casting a little bit so I can get the nuts on there completely. That should hold it very well, should work pretty well. And then that steel plate will have studs coming up there to receive the Sniper throttle body. So that's the plan. If it doesn't work, we'll do something different. So there's many different ways you could do it. I was planning on doing this out of aluminum, which once again, I could even weld the adapter plate to this if I wanted to. That's another possibility. But I like using fasteners because it can come apart if you need to. And once again, this is also the prototype. Never done it before. I haven't seen any information on this. So we'll wait and see. We'll see how all this works. So tell you what, I'm going to take the manifold and these 2 gaskets. I'm going to go inside the house where I can sit at my office chair at my desk, and I'm going to take some measurements and start doing this on CAD. And I'm actually going to 3D print a prototype to fit this up, and I'm going to show you how to do all that stuff here coming up. So tell you what, let's head into the house. Get on the computer. All right, now that I've come inside the office. So I'm going to get ready to get on the computer, but before I do that, I'm going to take some measurements. I'm not going to bore you with the measurements, but basically I have this sitting here, and also, as I stated before, in order to mount the adapter with studs going down through this manifold, I'm going to have to drill these bolts out, drill those out. And I guarantee I'm going to have to carve a little bit out of this casting in order to get the nuts in there. But I feel very confident I can do that. But before I drilled it, I actually wanted to get the measurements off of this manifold, just this bolt pattern here, because like I said, that's a little bit better than working off of a gasket. But in essence, what I'm going to do to make this adapter is I'm more or less going, because this is the gasket that goes on top of that manifold, and this is the gasket that goes underneath the sniper, underneath the throttle body. And what the whole idea is, I'm going to combine the two. So I'm going to do that in CAD. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the measurement off the manifold, off the sniper, along with a few others, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some preliminary sketches up on CAD, just so I don't bore you to death, and then I'm going to show you on how to easily combine the two, and then to actually make an adapter plate. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to take some measurements, I'm going to hop on the computer, and I'll show you how I combine these two patterns, and then I'm going to actually make a three-dimensional object, 3D print it out, and we can do a test fit to see if it works. So let's hop on the computer. Well, and here you have it. This is a 3D printed adapter, what the adapter should look like. Well, at least this is the first revision if it doesn't work. But only way you're going to find out if it works is do this right here. So, and actually what was really neat on how I showed you on the computer is, it's probably a little hard to see in this, but there are actually 3D printed threads. So I haven't done anything to this, and this is one of the studs that can go in there, and it threads right in there. I think that's a pretty neat detail. I can actually 3D print threads in this plastic. So this is actually going to work very well. So, and just to double check it, gasket fits right all over top of those four. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Looks like this should fit. So, but so now I just got to go drill the intake manifold. Probably do a little bit of trimming. Put some studs in this and test fit it on the car. Make sure everything fits. The air cleaner clears the underside of the hood, and this is looking pretty good. Then as long as this looks good, we'll come back in, jump on the computer, and I'll go ahead and order and get this laser cut, and yeah, so it should be good to go. So, all right, well, let's head back out in the shop, and let's see about getting this put on. All right, I got finished 3D printing my adapter plate. I hope you liked all that boring computer work, but that's actually a very powerful tool that you have at your disposal. That software is free, and like I said, you can, and like I said, that 3D printer I used to print this only cost me $100. So they are like I said, it's very, very inexpensive, very affordable, yet is a very powerful tool for you. So, and this design, and hopefully if you can see here, hopefully this makes more sense if you still hadn't figured out what I was doing. These little nubs right here are going to get cut off. I'm gonna clean that up, but right now we're still mocking everything up. So, but anyways, but the 3D printer, that's a real fantastic tool. I really like that. I mean, it's real. I think it was really neat that I actually 3D print the threads and these things thread right into it without a problem. I think that's incredible. So, but now, moving forward, like I said, the manifold, the studs actually line up just right. Just need to drill out these holes. So I'm going to take this over to the drill press. And then also another quick note is, once again, this is a mock-up. This is, the thing of it is, sometimes it's a misconception that you're supposed to know everything all the time. And you know, sometimes it's okay not to. That's why I 3D printed this out of a cheap piece of plastic. I might have less than $1 of filament involved into this. So this is really inexpensive. So I can bolt it up, make sure everything fits, and if it does, then I'll cut it out of an expensive piece of metal. And also in the actual shape of this, the shape of this is actually good. As long as the position works well, as long as the throttle body fits around everything, I don't have any hood clearances with the air cleaner. The reality of it is, I'm actually going to add a little bit of material to this, is just because these studs are sticking out a little bit. I can probably add some material across here, 3 sides. I have to leave the side with the linkage open so that doesn't hit. But I just want to stiffen the plate up a little bit. But like I said, this is just to make sure it fits. I'll tell you what, let me quit my yakking and let's go over to the car. I got to take the old carburetor off and see if this, and bolt this manifold on. But well, I'm getting kind of mixed up now. I'm going to go drill the manifold off, then I'm going to take the carburetor off, and we're going to come back and see what it looks like. Well, as you can see, the adapter fit, but it didn't fit. So, unfortunately, because of this video is now going to get a little bit on the long side. But if you stick with it, it should turn out well in the end. So, but anyways, as you can see here, the throttle body mounted on the manifold. Manifold went on the engine. That went very well. But as you can obviously see, hopefully you can obviously see in the camera, that this is the top of the valve cover here. Air cleaner won't fit. So without the air cleaner, I have enough room to close the hood. Air filter will not fit with the hood closed. And basically, when I measured it, I have about an inch to put an air filter on the top. Most likely it'd have to be a hat and have to have a filter off the side, but 1 inch is not a lot of room to work with. And you have room of 1 inch, and this 1/2 inch insulation on the underside of this hood has to come off. So you would have a 1/2 inch gap between the top of the air cleaner and the underside of the hood. So that doesn't fit real well. And I'll tell you from my experience, anytime you do any kind of fitment with anything in an engine compartment or a vehicle, my rule of thumb, literally rule of thumb, is I'd like at least like to get my hand in there. If you can get your hand in between the finished product, like if I had the air filter on here and I could get my hand over here, that'd be good. Unfortunately, that's not the case with this. And now, since the biggest purpose of my YouTube channel is to inspire people, or basically I like to inspire creativity and just, I don't know, I like to inspire people whenever I can. So that's why I'm being very honest. Is, all honesty, I ran into this problem. I could have gone and come up with a solution and never showed you this. But basically, anytime you design something, create something, do something that hasn't been done before or you've never done before, things like this can happen. And and like I said, that's unfortunately, to create something new, to innovate, you run into this. So now, I am going to, the thing of it is, but we're not done. I'm not done, is because there's a solution here. We just got to find it. Now, in my line of work, my day job, actually, I've heard a saying, and a saying used, and I'm going to adapt it to what's going on here. Is, if you get in the ring with Mike Tyson, and he comes and he punches you square in the face and you hit the ground, what do you do after that? Is, you can get back up and let him hit you again. And basically, because I could push a bad situation, and like I said, this is not a good way to do it. Plain and simple. There are ways you could make this work. You could cut a hole in the hood, put a hood scoop on it. Like I said, there's a lot of ways you could make this work. But is it really worth pushing a bad situation? So anyways, so if you get punched in the square in the face by Mike Tyson, you hit the ground. Number one, don't get back up so he can punch you again. You need to get up so you can punch him back, and you need to come up with a better idea. Basically, you have to think of a solution where you're not getting right back up in front of him where he can hit you again. So basically, plan A didn't work. Now we're going to go to plan B, and I have a couple other things I could do. Some of them are not really appealing, but tell you what, I'm not going to bore you with all the real labor intensive, a lot of the crazy stuff. I'll save that for someone else. But tell you what, let me pull this back off, and I'm going to show you. Tell you what, I'll show you kind of the process of where I came to the solution that works for this. So tell you what, hang on for the ride. Let's go. All right, now I skipped plan B and C because they were just so much darn work. I didn't think it was completely worth it. So now I'm up to plan D, and I start off by putting the side draft manifold back on the engine, and I made this adapter, which I drew it up on CAD and I 3D printed it. And so basically, this adapter will bolt on to the side draft manifold, and the sniper throttle body should bolt onto this. So now I'm going to go ahead and bolt this in place, and I'll show you how plan D turned out. All right, the throttle body, installing this throttle body like a side draft, I get all the hood clearance I could look for. I mean, this is great. Once again, this fits, and unfortunately, the new problem I come up with is the base of the air filter fits on there, but when I go to install the element, bottom line is, down around here, I don't have enough room for the air cleaner to fit. And once again, all honesty, if I did a hat with a conical air filter in this area up here, this would probably work. But the reality of it is, my father kind of likes this air filter, so that's okay. So once again, is like I say, this works, but there could possibly be a better way. And actually, I'm going to show you my next solution. And also, the one thing, if you notice up here, this manifold is actually modified. Is somebody actually extended it an inch out, and I believe the original exhaust header, this manifold wouldn't fit with the original exhaust header. It has been changed, and probably don't need that 1-inch spacer. And if I got another one of these manifolds without these spacers, in all honesty, everything would probably fit. It'd probably fit very well. So, but for argument's sake, I still think we can make this fit with this exact manifold as this is, with this air filter. So once again, so Plan D worked. Plan D has a lot of potential, and ultimately it can be a solution for somebody. But for this car with this intake manifold, and for the air cleaner that's to be used, which also keep in mind, this air cleaner, I cut a solid 1/2 inch off of that lip and put that fuel line on there for a sealing surface. So, but I have yet one more addition, so we can go to Plan E. So let's pull this off, and I'll show you what else I got. All right, this is Plan E. I took that same adapter that I made, and once again I 3D printed another one. 3D printing is awesome for doing this, absolutely incredible. Although it took a solid 8 hours to print this, it's really great to test fit everything before you spend a lot of money to get it carved out of aluminum. So, and what I did with this adapter is I actually raised the throttle body up an inch, and I leaned it back about 10 degrees. So with that, that should give me the clearance around the inner fender well for the air cleaner. So tell you what, let me go ahead and throw this thing on, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, got the throttle body on with the third adapter I've made, Plan E at this point, and by moving it up an inch and tilting it back, I have a whole lot more room underneath. Actually, like I said, I'm pretty happy about that. So, and although I moved it up, I still got plenty. This piece right here is the highest point, and it is actually below the valve cover. So I actually closed the hood and measured it, and I have 2.5 inches from this to the underside of the hood with the insulation. So 2.5 inches. So that's good. That's what I want to see. So now let's see if this air filter fits. All right, the base is on. The fuel line that I split and put around the ceiling face, it's seated all the way around. Nice tight fit. Now let's put the air filter element in place. Actually went in, so that's a good sign. Wow, and we looks like we can actually get the clip to hold the air filter in place. Well, you look at that. It's a little hard for you to see, but I can actually get my fingers in between the air filter and the air fender well. So that's what I'm looking for. I've got the hood clearance, I've got the clearance on the fender well, and using the air cleaner that my father wants to use. So that looks like that is going to fit. I'm pretty happy with that. And tell you the truth, luckily this is not a high performance engine. This adapter probably wouldn't be ideal if you're looking for maximum horsepower, because although the passageways in it have enough volume to match this throttle body, not that intake, but for the sheer fact it has 2 additional changes of direction for the airflow, that doesn't really help it. But the thing of it is, not looking for maximum effort, ultimate performance on this. We're really looking for good drivability. And so, all in all, this should work. So I'm pretty happy with this. So, tell you what, before I close this out, I know this video is getting long. Alright, I got to interrupt this video. This is future Jim. I got to correct the Jim from the past on a few things. And first and foremost, on the video you're watching, on how the adapter plate for that throttle body has changed multiple times. This video has changed multiple times, because I originally intended this video to be kind of a how-to on how to design it, how to do the CAD work, how to upload it to a service to CNC machine it out of a piece of aluminum for you. But unfortunately, since I ran into design issues, this video is going a bit longer, so I'm gonna have to cut it a little bit short. So, but the one thing I do want to convey to you is, if you have like something similar that you're trying to do, and you'd actually like to see all the CAD work that I did to create this adapter plate, please leave me a note in the comment, and if enough people do that, I'll actually make a whole nother video just on the CAD work of this adapter. Unfortunately, like I said, this video is getting a little bit long for that, and but once again, I hope the video serves its purpose on creating inspiration and, basically giving you an idea for your own projects. So, and then to add, I've said it a few times in this video, in the previous one, that I'm willing to share this with anybody. So I'm going to have an email address in the description of the video, creatingstuffwithjim@gmail.com. If you would like to do this to your own car, I will actually share with you the CAD files, and I'll go one step further. Is not only will I share you the CAD file, I'll even give you a short video on how to upload them to an online service to actually get them machined out of aluminum for you. But unfortunately, like I said, I'm willing to share the CAD files so you can do it yourself, but depending on your skill level, this may or may not be for you. That's only an answer that you can answer yourself. But I'll be willing to help you do whatever I can. And I'm sharing these files for personal use if you want to do it to your car. If you're someone interested in wanting to manufacture and sell these to anybody who wants one, please give me the respect, contact me. I'm sure we can come to some sort of arrangement. But once again, the biggest thing I like to do is I just like to help people create inspiration, and you know what, and if I can help you have a better running car that you can drive it more, that much better. So but once again, also, and if you will wait to the unfortunately, I still have a couple more videos I have not even edited yet that they're going to come after this one. There's a lot more parts in this in the whole process of doing this fuel injection conversion, and there's other CAD files and there's other things that are going to go with it that I'm willing to share with you as well. So the truth of it is, if you wait to the end of the series and you can send me one email, I will send you everything, and to help you, if you want to do this yourself, I'll send you all the files and help you any way I can to do this. So but anyways, and then just real quick, to unfortunately, to trim this video down, I'm going to go ahead and put a image on the screen. This is what the adapter that I'm currently getting made, but unfortunately, this design changed many times, way more times than I'm showing you on the video. But that's the part of designing something new that has never been done before. So basically, then I'll show you another clip on the screen of what basically the CAD file that I will share for the final product. So they look a lot different, but once again, you have to get some other things to go with it. You need a Weber side draft intake manifold, but like I said, the final design will work. And the biggest difference you'll notice is in the final design. Actually, I leaned the throttle body back 20 degrees instead of 5. And that's because during testing, had a little bit of gas accumulate in the throat of the throttle body. So basically I gave it a little bit more angle to help that gas run down the throttle blades. But the biggest reason, biggest reason is if there's any gas flowing anywhere, I want it to flow inside the engine. I don't want it to flow into the air filter because that's dangerous. So, but that's the biggest reason why I did that. But even running the car around with the adapter that you're going to see installed, which is far from optimal, but it does work, and it actually works very well. But the 5 degrees, and I'll correct myself from the video, the 5 degrees that this adapter is leaned back is enough to keep the gas inside the throttle body, inside the engine, and I don't have any running into the air filter. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to turn this video back over to Jim from the past because I'm tired of running my mouth, so it's time to get some work done. So back to Jim from the past. All right, there's one part. Now this part, you're going to have to wait and watch another video if you want to see what this part looks like. So look for a future video if you want to see what's in there. Wow, that just looks gorgeous. Wow, I am very, very, very happy with that. I just can't tell you. I'm real happy. Beautiful, beautiful quality. So, now unfortunately, as I might have said in an earlier part of the video, these holes are not tapped for the studs. So I'm going to have to go ahead and thread these just because, like I said, I have to, that's beyond my subscription on my CAD software. So anyways, I'll eventually get it in the future, but if all I got to do is tap holes, oh well, let's get to it. Alright, well I got the studs installed into the adapter. I'm going to put this on for the last time, and I want to show a little design change. Once again, this is the manifold I started with that I thought I was going to be the final install on, which as you can tell has been modified. It's been extended an inch. I mentioned this earlier in the video, but this particular adapter was made for this manifold. As you can see, I actually have an unmodified manifold installed. I was under the impression that my dad wanted to use this one, keep it as far away from the header as possible, and then next thing, anyways, it is what it is. So this manifold's out. I'm not using this anymore. This will still work, but now that I have a standard size shorty side draft manifold, this particular design is not needed. And actually, I do plan to share this if you'd like to do this for your own car, but this is not the design that I'm going to share. This is the design I'm going to share. Basically, it's about the same. Basically, this one is leaned back 5 degrees along with this one. The only difference is This one, I raised the throttle body up an inch to clear the inner fender well for the longer manifold. This one just is straight and lean back 5 degrees. So with that short manifold, which is available, they're about 120 bucks. Like I said, this adapter will work, and this is the one I plan to share. So please check in the comments, message me if you're interested in doing this. But once again, I have a whole lot more that I'm going to share with you. This is only, although this is the coolest part, this is just a very small portion of it. And if you want to see what's underneath the towels, you gotta watch one of my future videos I haven't posted yet. So I gotta keep you in suspense somehow. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get this adapter plate bolted up. Well, it's time to wrap this video up. I know it got kind of long. Unfortunately, I'm trying to share with you the experience that I went through and all the process. So, because once again, the biggest purpose of why I want to do these videos and why I have my channel is for you. Is because I would, if there's a few people or anybody that I can inspire to tackle one of their own projects or do something they don't think they can do, that's why I'm here. I would like, if there's anything that I can do to inspire somebody, give you motivation to learn a new skill, to do something you don't think you can do. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I shared my mistakes, is because it would be so much easy with all the video editing. I really could have just started over and acted like I was the smartest person on the planet. But you know what? I'm not. I'm not. It's plain and simple. But you can learn. Everything is learnable. And like I said, that's actually the process you go through. And that's a very misconception. You know, everybody thinks you're supposed to know exactly what works. But you know what? Not necessarily, especially if you're doing something that hasn't been done before. And this right here, I haven't found anything very similar on YouTube about it. I think I've seen one person put a Autolite 1100 sniper, a very small one, on an MG midget. But I believe this is the first one for an MGB, and we're actually putting on a larger sniper than what he used. So, but wrapping this up. And just in case you have questions, the reason why I can run that sniper as a side draft versus a downdraft is just because the fuel system is pressurized. Carburetors have float bowls, and it's just like having a bowl of cereal. I mean, it sloshes around in there, so carburetor only likes to be flat and level, where this is pressurized, and then the computer takes care of the rest with the fuel injectors. So that's why I can mount it as a side draft. But for those few people that are still watching this video right now, here's a test to see who all is still watching. Is because this was originally a side draft. We tried doing a downdraft, which didn't work. But they do make what's called updraft carburetors. That's where the carburetor is literally facing down, and it draws the air up through the carburetor into the engine. So, tell you what, leave it in the comments. Whatever you think the benefit of having an updraft carburetor. You mainly found them in, like, the biggest place I've seen them is very old construction equipment and old farm tractors. So like an 8N Ford, things like that. So, but with some of the experience that I've had with them, like I said, I found one very big plus side of having an updraft carburetor. So tell you what, put in the comments what you think the benefit of having an updraft carburetor. And after some time goes by, I'll share what I found and see if we can put all those together and the benefit of an updraft carburetor. So, but anyways, well, I'm getting long-winded, so it's time to put it into this video, because although that was the fun part, making really cool adapters, using CAD, that's a lot of fun. But unfortunately, I still have a lot of work to do to make this work. Is because I need to install a coolant temperature sensor, I need to run the new fuel system, and I need to run the electrical. So I need to do all that before the adapter comes in, which as I showed you, I have already ordered the adapter. It's going to take about 2 weeks for it to get in. So, but I got plenty of other stuff to work on. So tell you what, if you like the video, you like following this stuff, please subscribe. And if you like the video, please share it with friends, share it with anybody. So please like it. And I look forward to reading your comments down below. So until then, be creative.